10 common egg mistakes silently poisoning seniors. Over 65, doctors won't tell you this. They say eggs are nature's perfect food. But for seniors over 65, the truth is a lot more complicated. A simple breakfast could be silently harming your heart, your memory, even your bones, without you realizing it. From bad cooking methods to dangerous pairings, the mistakes are easy to miss and costly if ignored. If you're eating eggs, you must know these 10 silent mistakes that could be slowly poisoning your health. Your life may not depend on eggs, but the way you eat them just might. If you care about your health and the health of your loved ones over 65, take a second to like this video and subscribe. We're here to help you live longer, feel stronger, and enjoy every stage of life. Your support helps us keep this vital information coming. Overcooking. Eggs until they turn greenish, boiling or frying eggs until the yolks turn green or gray is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's a sign of chemical changes that can affect digestion and nutrient quality. When eggs are overcooked, especially at high heat or for too long, a reaction occurs between the sulfur in the egg white and the iron in the yolk. This reaction creates a compound called hydrogen sulfide. It's the same compound responsible for the strong, sulfur-like smell in overboiled eggs. While it might not be toxic in small amounts, hydrogen sulfide is known to irritate the lining of the digestive tract. For people over 65, who often have more sensitive stomachs or lower stomach acid, this irritation can lead to discomfort, bloating, or even reduced ability to absorb essential nutrients from food. Older adults are already at a higher risk for deficiencies in key vitamins and minerals like B12, calcium, and magnesium. Anything that interferes with absorption, even slightly, can have a much bigger impact on long-term health. Some studies also suggest that the heat-damaged proteins in overcooked eggs become harder to digest. This means the body has to work harder to break down and use the nutrition in the egg, which defeats the purpose of eating it for its health benefits in the first place. Eggs are often recommended to seniors for their high-quality protein and brain-supporting nutrients. But when they're cooked to the point of discoloration, the quality of those nutrients may be compromised. For example, heat-sensitive vitamins like B-complex and fat-soluble vitamins like A and D can degrade at high temperatures. So instead of gaining support for muscle maintenance, memory, or energy, seniors could be consuming eggs that offer far less nutritional value than expected. Doctors often suggest gentle cooking methods for people over 65, like soft boiling, poaching, or light scrambling on low heat to preserve nutrients and ease digestion. These approaches help maintain the egg's natural integrity without forming sulfur compounds. Keeping the yolk a soft yellow and avoiding over-frying or long boiling not only improves the taste and texture, but protects gut health and nutritional intake at the same time. Eating eggs with processed meats, like bacon or sausages. Pairing eggs with processed meats like bacon, sausage, or ham is a common breakfast tradition, but for seniors, it's a dangerous combination that can quietly raise serious health risks. Eggs on their own, when prepared properly, can be a good source of protein and nutrients, but once they're combined with processed meats, the meal becomes loaded with unhealthy fats, excess sodium, and chemical preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. These substances are known to increase inflammation, stiffen blood vessels, and elevate the risk of heart disease, especially in people over 65 who may already have high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, or arterial plaque buildup. Processed meats are classified by the World Health Organization as Group 1 carcinogens, meaning there is strong evidence linking them to cancer, particularly colorectal cancer. But for older adults, the immediate concern is often cardiovascular strain. A meal high in saturated fats and salt can spike blood pressure and cholesterol within hours, and repeated exposure contributes to long-term damage. Seniors are more vulnerable because their bodies don't bounce back from these spikes as easily. The heart, kidneys and arteries are all under more stress as we age, and loading the system with dense, processed fat at breakfast only adds to the burden. Additionally, nitrates used in processed meats can impair oxygen flow by interfering with how blood carries oxygen through the body. This is especially concerning for seniors with breathing issues, anemia or reduced circulation. A breakfast that feels hearty and satisfying may actually be triggering fatigue, lightheadedness, or swelling later in the day. Some dietitians recommend avoiding this pairing entirely and instead combining eggs with healthier alternatives like vegetables, whole grains, or fresh fruit. Doing so can support heart health, stabilize energy, and reduce sodium intake. The goal is not to eliminate comfort foods, but to replace harmful combinations with ones that nourish rather than strain. Seniors often rely on routine, and breakfast is a powerful place to start making better choices. Small changes here can lead to meaningful improvements in blood pressure, heart rhythm, and overall energy levels. Replacing processed meats even a few times a week makes a noticeable difference over time and protects the heart more than many people realize. Skipping the yolks. Completely avoiding egg yolks entirely has become a habit for many people trying to cut down on cholesterol. But for seniors over 65, this well-meaning choice can quietly lead to nutrient deficiencies that impact brain, bone, and heart health. The yolk contains nearly all the vitamins and minerals in an egg, including vitamin D, choline, and vitamin B12, three nutrients that are especially critical for older adults. Removing the yolk might reduce dietary cholesterol, but it also removes the very compounds that help with memory retention, bone density, and nervous system function. Choline, found in high amounts in egg yolks, supports brain health and helps prevent cognitive decline. Older adults who are deficient in choline may experience faster memory loss or mental fatigue. Vitamin B12, also concentrated in the yolk, is essential for red blood cell formation and neurological function, yet many seniors struggle to absorb enough of it from food alone. Without it, there's a higher risk of anemia, nerve damage, and even mood changes like depression or irritability. Vitamin D, another key nutrient in yolks, is vital for calcium absorption and bone protection, something every senior needs to guard against fractures and osteoporosis. Doctors today no longer recommend avoiding yolks for most people unless there's a specific medical reason. Research now shows that for the majority of older adults, moderate egg consumption doesn't significantly raise blood cholesterol. In fact, some studies suggest that the cholesterol in food has less impact on blood cholesterol than once believed. What matters more is the overall diet quality and balance. For seniors trying to eat better, the focus should be on using yolks wisely rather than eliminating them entirely. 1 or 2 eggs a few times a week, when combined with vegetables and whole grains, can provide a balanced, nutrient-rich meal. Skipping yolks too often can leave seniors unintentionally undernourished, especially if they're already eating less due to appetite changes or medication effects. Every bite counts more with age, and when it comes to eggs, the yolk isn't the enemy. It's a valuable part of the whole food, and for many seniors, it's one of the easiest ways to get a powerful nutritional boost in a small, familiar package. Raw or runny eggs. Especially in homemade recipes, eating raw or undercooked eggs might seem harmless, especially when used in recipes like homemade mayonnaise, salad dressings, or lightly cooked scrambled eggs. But for seniors over 65, this habit can introduce serious health risks that aren't worth taking. Raw or runny eggs can contain salmonella, a harmful bacteria that causes foodborne illness. While younger adults might recover with rest and hydration, older individuals face a much higher risk of complications, including severe dehydration, hospitalization, or even life-threatening infections. Salmonella doesn't always show visible signs in the egg. A clean shell or organic label doesn't guarantee safety if the egg hasn't been thoroughly cooked. According to the CDC, people over 65 are more likely to suffer from severe salmonella symptoms because aging weakens the immune system and slows the body's ability to fight off infection. What starts as stomach cramps or diarrhea can quickly escalate into something much more serious, especially for seniors with existing health conditions like diabetes or kidney problems. Even eggs labeled as pasteurized should still be cooked until both the white and yolk are firm. Runny yolks in poached or soft-boiled eggs may still carry a risk. And it's not just in obvious raw dishes. Many seniors don't realize that licking batter, tasting homemade dressings, or adding raw eggs to smoothies can also lead to exposure. These small moments can turn into big health setbacks if the wrong egg happens to carry bacteria. Doctors recommend cooking eggs to an internal temperature of at least 160 degrees to kill any harmful bacteria. That means no jiggly centers, no raw cookie dough, and no shortcuts when it comes to temperature. Even if it seems like a minor risk, food poisoning in older adults tends to be more severe, longer lasting, and harder to recover from. Prevention is simple. Cook every egg thoroughly and be cautious when dining out or trying new recipes that may involve undercooked eggs. For seniors, protecting your health doesn't mean giving up eggs. It means preparing them in a way that supports your well-being, not jeopardizes it. Fully cooked eggs can still be soft, flavorful, and enjoyable without the risks hidden in their raw or runny form. Eating eggs daily without monitoring. Cholesterol. Eating eggs every day can seem like a healthy routine, but for seniors it needs to be done with careful attention to individual cholesterol levels and heart health. Eggs are rich in dietary cholesterol, about 185 milligrams per egg, and while this isn't harmful for everyone, it can be problematic for those who already have elevated LDL, bad cholesterol, or a history of cardiovascular disease. Many seniors fall into this category, and eating eggs too frequently without proper monitoring can quietly add to their risk. Recent research has shown that for most healthy adults, moderate egg consumption doesn't drastically affect blood cholesterol. However, some people, especially those with diabetes or metabolic syndrome, are considered hyper-responders, meaning their cholesterol levels do rise more significantly in response to dietary cholesterol. Seniors with these conditions may not realize that daily eggs are contributing to plaque buildup in arteries or higher blood pressure, especially when combined with other risk factors like inactivity, medication side effects, or family history of heart disease. Doctors now recommend a more personalized approach rather than a one-size-fits-all rule. Some older adults can safely eat up to 7 eggs a week with no adverse effects, especially if they eat a heart-healthy diet rich in fiber, omega-3s, and low in saturated fat. But others may need to cut back to 3 or 4 eggs weekly, especially if they're also eating other cholesterol-rich foods like red meat or full-fat dairy. It's not just about the egg, it's about the overall diet and how it all fits together. For seniors already taking cholesterol-lowering medications like statins, daily egg consumption should still be discussed with a healthcare provider. Even if blood levels appear controlled, the cumulative effect of dietary choices can gradually influence artery health. It's not always about numbers, it's about preventing inflammation and long-term damage. Eggs can absolutely be part of a senior's diet, but they shouldn't be treated as an unlimited food. Like most things in aging, balance and moderation are key. Checking in with a doctor, getting regular blood tests, and staying informed about how your body reacts to certain foods can help you make smarter choices. Eggs aren't the problem, but ignoring how they fit into your specific health picture can become one over time. Using Teflon or damaged non-stick pans to cook eggs. Using scratched or overheated non-stick pans to cook eggs can quietly introduce toxic elements into meals, especially when the pan's coating begins to break down. Most non-stick cookware is coated with polytetrafluoroethylene, also known as Teflon. When heated beyond 500 Fe, or if the surface is damaged, these coatings can release fumes and microscopic particles that may be harmful when inhaled or ingested. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to these effects because aging lungs, reduced immunity, and pre-existing respiratory conditions like COPD or asthma can worsen with long-term exposure. Even if no smoke is visible, tiny particles from worn-out non-stick surfaces can still leach into food. These particles don't belong in the digestive system, and over time, they may contribute to symptoms such as headaches, nausea, or chronic inflammation. Some researchers also express concern over older Teflon pans made with PFOA, a chemical that has since been phased out but was once linked to liver damage and thyroid problems. Many seniors still own these older pans and may not realize the risk they carry with each use. Doctors and health experts often suggest replacing non-stick pans once they show signs of wear, scratches, peeling, or surface dullness. Safer options for cooking eggs include ceramic, stainless steel, or cast iron pans, which don't rely on synthetic coatings and can be used at higher heat levels without releasing fumes. For seniors with sensitivities or compromised health, avoiding unnecessary chemical exposure is a smart and preventative step. Eggs are frequently cooked on high heat and often daily, making the risk of exposure from bad cookware even more consistent. What seems like a convenient cooking surface can quietly chip away at respiratory or digestive health over time. Replacing that old pan might feel like a small thing, but for seniors trying to protect their lungs, reduce toxins, and preserve overall well-being, it's a meaningful change that brings both peace of mind and better long-term outcomes. Ignoring food pairings, like high sugar sides with eggs. Eating eggs with high sugar sides, like jam-covered toast, pancakes with syrup, or a glass of fruit juice may seem like a harmless breakfast choice, but for seniors, this combination can quietly trigger unstable blood sugar levels. Eggs themselves are low in carbohydrates and packed with protein, which helps stabilize energy and keeps hunger in check. But when they're paired with sugary or refined carb foods, the body's insulin response becomes overloaded, something older adults are especially sensitive to due to age-related changes in metabolism. This blood sugar spike and crash cycle can lead to sudden fatigue, shakiness, or brain fog within just a couple of hours. For seniors who may already deal with insulin resistance, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, these dramatic swings can increase the risk of long-term complications. Even those without a diabetes diagnosis might still feel the toll, like afternoon energy dips, increased cravings, or disrupted appetite control later in the day. Nutritionists often recommend pairing eggs with fiber-rich, low-glycemic foods, like whole-grain toast, sautéed vegetables, or avocado, to maintain steady blood sugar and support heart and brain function. The goal isn't to avoid carbs completely, it's to avoid mixing fast sugars with protein-heavy meals. This mistake is common because sweet items often feel like a light way to round out breakfast, but in reality, it puts stress on an already aging system that processes sugar more slowly and less efficiently. Seniors should also be cautious of hidden sugars in flavored yogurts, breakfast bars, or processed spreads. These seem like healthy options on the surface, but often contain as much sugar as a dessert. Choosing better pairings not only helps with energy, but also protects the brain, nerves, and circulation from damage caused by repeated sugar spikes. Starting the day with the right balance of protein and slow digesting carbs makes a real difference in how seniors feel, move, and think. Small changes in how eggs are paired can create a ripple effect in stability, comfort, and long-term health. Consuming store-bought liquid egg substitutes. Regularly relying on store-bought liquid egg substitutes may seem like a healthier or more convenient option, especially for seniors trying to cut cholesterol or simplify cooking. But many of these products come with hidden downsides that can quietly undermine health. Unlike whole eggs, which offer natural nutrients in a complete form, liquid egg substitutes are often heavily processed. They may contain additives, preservatives, artificial colorings, and stabilizers, ingredients that offer no nutritional value and may irritate digestion, especially in older adults with sensitive stomachs or food sensitivities. The protein quality in these substitutes can also be lower than what's found in a fresh egg. While they may be fortified with some vitamins, they lack the natural balance of nutrients like choline, vitamin D, and B12 that are concentrated in the yolk. These are nutrients seniors need most for brain function, energy, and strong bones. Swapping real eggs for processed substitutes may mean missing out on the very nutrients that protect against age-related decline. Some diet products labeled as heart-healthy use misleading marketing to suggest they're a superior alternative. But when you look closely at the ingredient list, you'll often find things like natural flavors, gum blends, and synthetic emulsifiers. These ingredients don't nourish the body, they simply create texture and shelf life. For seniors, especially those taking multiple medications or managing conditions like high blood pressure or digestive disorders, unnecessary chemical exposure adds another layer of risk. Doctors and nutritionists usually agree that fresh, whole foods are better than processed alternatives. If eggs are being avoided for specific reasons, like cholesterol concerns or allergies, there are better options than liquid mixes, such as using one whole egg with added egg whites or exploring plant-based protein sources under medical guidance. While convenience matters, the long-term impact of ultra-processed foods shouldn't be ignored. For older adults working hard to eat well, these substitutes can quietly take away more than they give. Choosing whole eggs, prepared properly, gives the body what it truly needs, without the artificial extras that do more harm than good. Not washing eggshells before cracking. Avoid this simple mistake, cracking an egg straight from the carton into a bowl or pan without washing the shell. First might seem harmless, but it's a common mistake that can quietly lead to serious illness, especially in seniors. The outer surface of an eggshell can carry bacteria like salmonella, which may transfer to the egg's contents during handling or cracking. Even if the egg looks clean, the bacteria are often invisible and can survive in tiny pores or cracks on the shell. For people over 65 who tend to have weaker immune systems, a minor contamination can result in major health consequences. Salmonella infection can cause symptoms like diarrhea, fever, and vomiting. But in older adults, it's more than just an uncomfortable stomach bug. Seniors are at higher risk for complications like severe dehydration, hospitalization, and even bloodstream infections. The risk increases if someone is also dealing with diabetes, kidney disease, or taking medications that affect the immune response. What seems like a minor shortcut in the kitchen can lead to days or even weeks of health setbacks. The simple act of rinsing eggshells under running water before use can help reduce the chance of transferring harmful bacteria. It's especially important when preparing multiple eggs or when cracking them directly over food. Some eggs come pre-washed by suppliers, but unless clearly labeled as such, it's safer to assume they're not sterile. Even organic or farm-fresh eggs can carry contaminants from the handling process or environment. Health experts recommend taking basic precautions with eggs. Store them in the refrigerator, avoid using any with cracked shells, and always wash hands after handling them. These small habits make a big difference, particularly for seniors trying to avoid infections that take longer to recover from. Being cautious doesn't require fear, just a few extra seconds of awareness. Washing the eggshell is one of the easiest and most effective ways to reduce foodborne risk. For older adults working to stay well and independent, every bit of prevention matters. And sometimes the smallest habit changes bring the biggest protection. So, assuming cage-free means healthy, be aware buying. Cage-free eggs often feels like the healthier and more ethical choice. But for seniors, this label can be misleading. Cage-free only means that hens are not kept in small wire cages. It doesn't guarantee that the birds had access to the outdoors, ate a clean or nutritious diet, or lived in sanitary conditions. Many cage-free eggs still come from hens kept in crowded indoor barns, exposed to antibiotics, low-quality feed, and stress-filled environments. These conditions can affect the quality and safety of the eggs they lay. Seniors often spend more for cage-free eggs, believing they're getting better nutrition or a safer product. But the nutritional value of an egg depends far more on the hen's diet and environment than on cage status alone. Eggs from pasture-raised hens fed a natural diet tend to have more omega-3s, vitamin D, and antioxidants, nutrients that support heart health, memory, and immune function. Cage-free eggs, by contrast, may still lack these benefits if the hens are raised on corn-based feed without access to sunlight or fresh greens. Older adults are especially vulnerable to deficiencies in vitamin D and omega-3s, which play a crucial role in bone strength, mood stability, and inflammation control. So when cage-free eggs don't deliver those nutrients, seniors may unknowingly miss out on important support their bodies need. Additionally, poor hygiene in overcrowded cage-free systems can lead to increased risk of contamination with bacteria, like salmonella, posing a greater threat to those with weakened immune systems. Health experts suggest reading beyond the label. Look for terms like pasture-raised, organic, or omega-3 enriched, which provide more meaningful insight into the egg's quality. Seniors who care about both nutrition and safety should ask questions at the store or local farmer's market. A higher price doesn't always mean higher quality, and understanding what each label truly means can help avoid being misled. Being informed about what's really behind the cage-free label helps seniors make choices that truly support their health. When it comes to eggs, the source matters just as much as the food itself. Better choices begin with better understanding.